oh my god, holy hell, the crackhead is back. That's what people are gonna think at this point. Because now we've done so many freaking calibrations on LG OLED that at this point I am the OLED magician. I am the OLED legend. The man that should not be named. I am Voldemort. Yeah, you get the idea, man. Okay, so this is Hotfix 2.0. I didn't think this was gonna happen, but then I was like, you know what? We've done so many calibrations, and I've gotten such a deep understanding on how we can utilize these panels, LG OLED panels specifically, the OLED panels. And now I know how to calibrate it, I know how to make it look really good, at least on my panel, so perfect, right? But how do we take it further? Is that even possible? And then I remembered full range. You might be able to make full range look even brighter than limited range and have more range in the highlights. Just that it will become washed out, right? But washed out, we don't want wash out. We can make it brighter, we can get more color volume, but color volume would be slightly slated or limited because we're getting the washout. So can we get the clarity, the contrast and the pop from limited inside of full? Yes. Yes, we can. I've been spending hours on end getting the exact same image as 1.9, but we are in full range. But we have benefits from full range, but everything is still there from limited range. So we aren't cutting back on anything, and when you're using this calibration, you will never have ever in your life have to care about black to rays ever again. You can be a little pickish, and yes, you can care about it, but you really shouldn't have to on a wider spec. So, if you're playing 60 Hz or 120 Hz mode, it should, in just a general sense, look very cohesive and contrasty all the time now. And the black levels will even be slightly better near black in some cases than before. Not too big of a difference though near black, because we had to adjust the black level to 42 instead of 50 to make full range look like the game optimizer equivalent of 50 in limited range. But as I said, the benefits are huge. So, what are the caveats? Because it can't just be glory, right? Yes, we are getting more ABL because the panel is now so much brighter on the larger planes of the window sizes that at some point we are getting more ABL. And we are actually getting temporary image retention issues now at this point. So we are so bright now that most likely these streaks... Shit, I just touched the panel, that scared me. I don't like touching the panel. These streaks of light are most likely so bright that they will burn in temporarily. So image retention into the panel, which is scary. So I will check if we can see them on something else. No, okay, so that time it didn't burn in, which is weird. It should have burned in. So, this photo right here, this screenshot, this has been taken with full range in mind, maxing out the settings in game so that it looks as it should on my C4 anyways, with full range in mind. So right now we are in Hotfix 1.9 and we're using limited range. So obviously we're losing a little bit of highlight detail here. It looks bright, don't get me wrong, but it can look this bright, if not even slightly brighter, very slightly brighter, because we will be in vivid mode. And guys, oh my lord, look at this. I will do it like this so that it goes like that, right? It will be a fast transition. Okay, look at the highlight detail. Can you see? I don't know what the panel did there, but you can see clearly, right? I go back, game optimizer, we're losing a lot of the highlights, and then vivid. And now we see all of the highlight detail, and it is the exact level of brightness as before, but slightly brighter in the white luminance because we're on vivid mode. So, good. We can wrap the video. That's everything. No, we cannot. So this is 2.0 Hotfix. So this will bring your panel further than ever before. Again, man, what is going on? How am I able to do this? I am so confused. We could have done all of these settings day one, but I didn't do those day one because we had to learn all of this to get to this point. And I didn't know about this from the get-go. When I started my channel a year ago, when I started doing these hotfix videos, I didn't call the first videos hotfix. I didn't know about this. I didn't know that you can make the full range look like limited range with benefits on top. I had no idea. Nobody's saying that on the internet. People are saying that you can adjust full range to look better, but nobody's saying you can make it look better than limited range, which is the real way of mapping it. So it's like, we can stretch the highlights in full range, because it's not supposed to be full range, technically speaking, because the game was mapped in limited range. So now we're stretching to full range, and then we're boosting the highlight peak to alleviate that washout from stretching it into full range. And then we're dragging down the black level again to 42, which would be the 50 black level equivalent of limited range. You aren't following most likely here, but that's okay. And then thus, from doing all of that and changing the BT 2020 and boosting the white balance, we are getting more brightness, more specularity, better highlight detail, and the same level of contrast in midtones, near black, as in limited range. So, we have also done another thing, which is a little cheeky on my end. I found that when I was tapping around with the settings, whilst I think this looks great, I do think warm 50 looks slightly yellow, very slightly. And I was like, okay, so what happens if we take warm 35 or warm 40 or warm 45, like just slating it back by 5? I think it looks a little bit cleaner. Not in every single case, it kind of looks the same. But in some cases where it's a little warm, when it's supposed to be a little cold, it can look a little bit too orange, beige kinda, when it's really supposed to look white. So, warm 50 is not always the best choice. So, let's give you the settings. And also, super important before we do this, please, no matter which console you're using, it can be a PlayStation 3, PS5, Xbox, PC, hold the freaking menu button on your remote so that you get into the home tab, or the home hub, sorry. Press the 3 dots up in the corner, edit inputs, and change the logo type for all of your HDMIs to be PC spec. Now, PC, you can rename your PS5. I renamed it to PlayStation 5 Pro, because that's what it is. And then we can go back to the PS5. Now the calibration can begin. It's also important to keep in mind, now that we are using full range, we get some extra benefits from 444 chroma or pass-through. So make sure that you have that on as well. If you're having issues on Xbox, going into 422, put that in the comments and I'll help you out after the video. Okay, so external devices, HDMI settings, and have 444 pass-through enabled. This, for PlayStation, only works in 60 Hz. So what happens when we go into 120 Hz? Well, color volume goes down a little bit, the color saturation goes down a little bit, ever so slightly, but you might notice it. And you are getting pixelation issues on red, magenta, and some other colors, because we are crushing or compressing the color. How should I call this in English? I don't know. Yeah, we're compressing the image anyways. It doesn't really matter. Now, for everyone that is older than the B5, C5, and G5, I recommend that you go to the HDMI select mode so that it's highlighted with white, and then you, on the num key or the numpad, you press 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. So you're gonna put 1 3 times, and then a 3 1 time, and then a 1 3 times again. So 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 3 1 3. You get it, right? So what are we gonna do in here? Essentially nothing. We're just gonna tell the TV to never accidentally go out from the spectrum of BT 2020. This is very important, because the panel, I've found it many cases when I do a calibration and I'm looking at colors. The TV can sometimes just like, I don't want BT 2020 anymore. And I'm like, what? But this game is so much BT 2020. Why are you going out from BT 2020, man? And the TV is like, I want DCI P3. So it kind of does an automatic thing, which is kind of, it's supposed to do that, but it's weird. You are supposed to show P3 and BT2020 at the same time, but in a stretched way. Why are you picking one over the other, ruining the pure red of these OLED panels? So, to get pure red and pure yellow and higher color volume just overall, so better color fidelity essentially, you have to put BT2020 on colorimetry and mastering color BT2020 D65. Boom. Great. And remember, I will make an optimized video of this in the future, so a Hotfix 2.1, when we have upgraded it even more. So we will go further. The series will go on, which is horrible to say, because I was 3 days ago super happy, and I was like, I can't improve it anymore. And here I am. I'm hurting myself as well, guys, because it's like an ongoing, like, it's infinite. At this point, it feels like it's infinite. We will never hit the ceiling with these TVs. It's insane. I'm so excited for the TVs of the future, because imagine being able to make like essentially 100 videos on every single LG OLED panel that I ever will own in the future. That's insane. Okay, so brightness. The first slab that we have to access. 100, 100, 42 on black level. And on dynamic tone mapping, we want this to be off, and we need to enable the professional mode to make sure that the highlights are pushing for the HDMI value increment of your panel. So if you disable this and you have this on off, you are losing out on a lot of brightness on the specularity of highlights and color volume. So boom, boom, and then you go 100, 100, 100, just to make sure if the game, like Uncharted, on PlayStation, it's mapping for 10,000 nits, at least on PC. I'm not sure how that works on console. I think it's just using the HDMI calibration tool and it fixes it. But on PC, it might be running at 10,000 nits mastering when you're in HDR. To fix this, just do 100 there and it's fixed. And then if the TV detects 4,000 mastering, because it's looking at the highlight and it's like, wait, that's not following the LTF to 1,000 on the C4 specifically, you know? Then it's gonna look for 1,000, 4,000, 10,000, and it's gonna uptrack it again, essentially. At least I think that's how it works. From my understanding, no one really knows what these things are doing on the web. But that's what I gather it's doing, because if you lower this to 90, 90, 90, essentially, and you look at a game that's 1,000 nits mastered, and you do 90 here, so these can be 100, it doesn't matter at that point. The game is mastered to 1000, you have a C4, so it should be mastered 1000, you're doing full range. Okay, what's happening now? Well, it's easy. If I go into Game Optimizer and I do all of these settings, and I do full range, HDMI, and I compare, 90 will look dimmer than HDMI in Game Optimizer, even on Vivid mode. So now when I do 100, it's slightly brighter, but it has the same level of highlight detail. So that makes sense. It must be that it's tracking the OTF to HDMI. I haven't found any other discrepancies. I did find when you use this that it does up the color volume slightly on yellow without clipping any of the color, so it doesn't color bleed, which is great. So 100, 100, 100 in the professional mode. And as I said, this video, we have taken the older LG OLEDs far. We have. But we can't take them too much further, honestly. Like, this is probably the point where we will be forgetting about the older models. Just specific for HDR gaming. We have upgraded those a lot already. And you can follow along. But if you do see that it's not as bright on your TV, like let's say you have a C3, and you can't do the professional mode, still look and see, is it still brighter when you have done the entire calibration, and compare it with Game Optimizer? Or is it dimmer? Because if it is dimmer, because I haven't tried, maybe on the C3, let's say, when you do the off function and you don't have a professional mode there, maybe it's automatically doing HDRG in vivid mode, like I don't know, but I wouldn't think that's what it's doing. So just keep that in mind. You can maybe do this entire calibration, but you can't get all the benefits for the reach of the highlight peaks in full. So I probably honestly just recommend that you use limited range still, and that you use Hotfix 1.9 if you're on an older panel than the 4 series or the 5 series or newer, of course. So if you have something older than a LG B4, don't do this calibration. You can always try it out, but you might not get the same level of pop like we other guys are getting. Don't feel too left out. It's not that crazy of a spec bump. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's kind of like we are going into professional nerd territory, so the normal user might not care too much about this kind of stuff either way. So now that we've helped those guys as hearts to not feel left out, 100, 100, 42 on the black level, and make sure inside of the game optimizer, in the game hub, on standard, that you have not pushed fine-tune dark areas. It needs to be on 0. Good. Because that will overtrack onto vivid mode on the newer models. So that's important. 42 on black level looks the exact same as limited range 50 on black level looks. But we have better highlights and better color volume now. And a little bit cleaner image resolve in movement even, I found when I was using 444 chroma, PC mode, and full range. And then I do with all of these settings. I did see that 120 Hz did look a little bit more fluid in motion, which is weird. Might be normal. Maybe it's a full range kind of thing. Who knows? Maybe I've been missing out on this beautiful display all along. Okay, expression enhancer off. And as I said, we are using full, but it doesn't really matter. Because in this case, what you need to do is put auto on the TV and put auto on the console. So no full or limited or limited full anymore. Now it's auto just to make sure that it's not slating anywhere. And as I said, the issue will be that when you're in 120 Hz mode, before this wasn't an issue as much, but now it is, because we are in full range and then we're backing into a compressed mode without using limited. We will get some washout in 120 Hz. It's not washout in the way that you will see it visually, but you will see it on the colors being slightly dulled back a little bit, and red will have pixelation around its corners. Keep that in mind. Not a big problem though. Future consoles won't have this problem most likely. It's an HDMI limitation on PlayStation. This is not a problem on Xbox or on PC. Or on PlayStation 3 even. Even that doesn't have this issue. It's a PS5 specific thing, even on the Pro. Motion eye care, I definitely recommend that you have that on. Enable that, because you don't want your eyes to burn, honestly. This is going to be brighter than ever before. Okay, color. Here's the thing, we are going to use native. Auto detect looks a little cleaner in certain cases, but native has higher color volume. So take with that what you will. I think red and certain colors like orange and yellow look better with native. But some colors like green and some mid-tone near black might look a little bit bluer than before. So if you want a 100% pure image and you don't care about colors at all, auto detect. But both of these are accurate. It's just the native allows the panel to push beyond its normal signal limits, thus giving you kind of a reference, but it's boosting a little bit. So it's up to you. I will use native for the Hotfix 2.0, but you can pick and choose which one of these you think looks the best. I'm just gonna check that we are recording here. That would have been horrible if I did all of this talking and it wasn't recording. Sometimes my phone can do that, and talking for 40 minutes and then it dies or something, I want to take my life. It's horrible. Okay, native color gamut. Now, white balance. Here we go. So, we're gonna do warm 40 of all things. We are actually going down a little bit now. So warm 40, and on the 2-point scale method, we are going to put on high point plus 37, plus 34, plus 50. And then on the low point, we're gonna do, oh, I haven't changed this yet, wait. Give me a second. This is supposed to be 9, this is supposed to be 7. I was playing around with the TV too much, honestly. This was supposed to be 5. Yes, okay. So -9, -7, -5 is for low point. Okay, good. And remember, warm 40, not warm 50. 22-point code value, we're going to go on the lowest value. It will be different on every single LG OLED, but just know it does the same thing. It's just model independent. It doesn't really matter, it does the same thing. So we're going to go on the lowest step on 22-point code value or signal level. It kind of depends on also what you're in. But this will be for HDR 10 gaming. So we're going to the lowest point, and now we're going to do -15. And we're gonna do -12, -5. We're gonna go up one more step. So now we're up 3 steps from the lowest point. -8, -12, up one more step, -12, -10. And on the highest step that we're gonna go, on my panel is 3, 4, 2. On your panel it's gonna be different, most likely. -12, -10. Okay, so that is, let's just check. From the bottom up, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. If you don't count the first one, it's only 4 steps. And on clarity, as per usual, I don't use any sharpness. I just don't like when the film grain in the game gets detected as a pixelated line and it starts to blur the entire picture. So I don't use it. But sometimes I do. So I won't sit here and say don't use it ever. Okay, now what I will recommend that you do. Normally when you press the menu key on your remote, you will get to, let's see, you will get to here. So you press the menu key and you get this thing. To remove this, because we won't be really using this anymore, you will go into Game Optimizer submenu, or the game bar menu is what I call it, and you will just disable Game Dashboard. Now, when you press the menu key, you will get to the normal TV menu that you're accustomed to seeing when you're using the TV apps anyways. Make sure in here that you have VRR and G-Sync on, 144 Hz mode on if you're on PC and you have a HDMI 2.1 compatible HDMI port on your display and on your graphics card. Otherwise, do not enable this. For console users, we only care about VRR and ALLM. And as I said before, fine-tune dark areas on 0. So everything that is inside of here is not important at all. Now, when I press the menu key once, we are gonna get this menu up again instead of the other one. And okay, how do I get back into Game Optimizer now to re-enable that thing because I disabled it? Well, you can see I have a Game Optimizer shortcut right here that will take me into the game bar, so that we can re-enable it if you want to, because otherwise it's completely gone. And we don't want that, baby. So what we're gonna do essentially is just click on the pen up here in the corner, go all the way down, and you should see a plus icon somewhere around here. I don't have that anymore because I've filled this to the full. And you're gonna go into the plus icon and you're gonna add the Game Optimizer, the shortcut, and then you're gonna select where you want it and then press down. And then it's gonna place itself where you want it. I place it up in the corner. I like this layout right here. I think it looks the cleanest. And for OLED Care panel technology on the TV, the software, I have Screen Move enabled, adjust logo brightness on high, which is the highest level of protection you can have. Low will be slightly brighter on highlights in certain scenarios, like stars and specularity. And low will have 0 protection for that specific type thing. So ALB protection. And you don't care about it. I will say this, man. Have it on high. Just protect your panel. The panel would still be very bright. You don't have to accidentally ruin it a little bit faster just because you want slightly more brightness. It's okay, man. We have already upgraded the panel so much, and they will become more upgraded on the channel. Just be patient. So care recommendations enabled as well. Now, if you go down here all the way to energy saving, make sure that this is off. If you are somebody that cares a lot about energy saving, use it if you want to, but you're gonna make the panel a lot more dull looking. I don't recommend doing that. Have it off. And if you're scared of getting burn-in, put the auto power off timer to 2 hours. That's what I have. So if I accidentally go away for 2 hours, the screen will have automatically dimmed itself and shut off after 2 hours. So a lot of protection there from the OLED Care and energy saving. Now make sure that in AI service you don't have any AI service enabled. And as another kind of extra side note maybe, if you're going into clarity and you can see that you have this enabled, you have this on high, this on high, this on high. You know, you have all of these enabled, but you can't change them. You can go into the YouTube app on your PlayStation or just disable ALLM. And when you disable ALLM and VRR, these will come back on. And you might be like, okay, but how do I do that? Because now I don't have the game open. Come down. Just disable it on the PlayStation or on the PC or on the Xbox. And then these will all engage. And now we can just off to not get any added latency. So it will be as fast as Game Optimizer in standard mode. Okay, great. That's the calibration. Please, guys, let me know what you think about this calibration. One more extremely important thing. When you're going to a game now, you will have to use different brightness setting. So that the peak brightness has to be higher. In certain cases, on my panel specifically, C4, LG C4 77-inch, you will have 1000 peak mastering on your panel. But now, in vivid mode, with these settings, I have noticed that it's trying to push for 1200 in some games and 1100 in some games. It can have to do with games just not mastering, tracking the number value on the peak brightness in game completely 100, you know. So I've seen gaming tech talking about that in some videos, that in some games you kind of have to do 1150 or whatsoever, you get the idea. And I will make videos on that, talking about that in the future. But just know for now, as a rule of thumb, go into the game, dial in the settings that you want, and look at the sun, look at really bright white specular highlights, and up that value too much until you can't see any details and it's clipping, and then dial it down until it's, like, I would say 100 nits above the panel peak. So if it's a G4, it's 1500. If it's C4, it's 1000. But in this case, it's going to be 1100 or 1200 might work as well, kind of depends on the game. And G4 is going to be 1600 or 1700. Keep that in mind. Dabble, try it around, fiddle, tell me in the communities that we have on Discord and on PlayStation in the chat there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, because this is like, we have taken it to the next level once again. I don't know if I talked about the color, but we are having it at 49. I think we talked about where to put it, but 49 is the color depth, and we are using native color gamut. But you can use auto detect if you want a little bit more realistic of an image with less color boost. So it will be closer towards 1.9. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please take the time to subscribe. It is like literally, you go down into the description, press subscribe. You'll be saving the channel from eventual death. I don't want the channel to die. I want to be able to do this for the rest of my life. Just helping out people in the community, upgrading panels. 2028 or 2027, I will be buying a new panel from LG. It will be like an LG C7 or G7 or whatever. Or a G, or a C8 or a G8. You get the idea, right? I'm excited, but I'm not excited enough to buy a new TV right now. I just want more upgrades, then I might upgrade, right? So, I'm excited. My videos work for everyone. I think that's amazing. And the channel support has been absolutely insane. These past 2 months, it's insane. So I'm just like, I'm humbled by it so much, man. And thank you so much for enjoying and supporting the channel. And oh my god, I almost started crying. And for everybody that is taking the time to write absolutely amazing comments, man. Oh shit, I'm actually gonna cry. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that people are taking the time, like real human beings. We're not talking about a bot here, we're talking about real human beings taking the time to go into my videos, my channel, and write comments that are saying like, you saved my TV, I'm always so hyped to look at your new videos. Oh my god. I'm so excited to see when you post your videos, and I always see improvements, and I think that's amazing. Thank you so much for what you do. When I see that comment, man, I almost all the time I get very sensitive. I am a very sensitive dude just in general, and I'm so hyped to do this and to be able to help you guys out. This is just a hobby for me. I don't want to earn any money from you guys, so please, if you don't want to donate or become a member, don't. But if you do, thank you so much, man. And I am extremely proud to have this community backing me and believing in what I do, and together we will make these panels look absolutely insane compared to how they looked default settings on Game Optimizer. Because that was just green, horrible, washed out, blue everywhere. It's like, wow, disgusting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like the video so that it gets sent out so more people can see this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys.